Alright, hello everybody, this is Lidow from WCR Replays doing audio commentary. It's been a hell of a long time since I did one. I don't really feel like going into why. I'm sure some of you can guess a few reasons, but whatever. So anyways, I'm back. Today I'll be doing a solo audio, Night Elf versus Orc. I'll be doing a different strategy. I'm pretty sure most of you have not seen this. Unless you've been looking at member replays the past few days, you might have seen me use this. But I don't think it's going to apply to too many of you. So we'll get on to the commentary. Get it to the 1 minute mark, 1x speed, fog of war off, preferably vision on me, but it doesn't matter. And we'll get it started. So basically the strategy I have in a nutshell is going Panda first with the Alchemist second, and having a single Ancient of War with hunts and archers, tucking to dryads and dots. The units are pretty standard for versus Orc, but the heroes are obviously a lot different, and they work pretty well together. Panda, obviously, I'll go with Haze and Breath of Fire eventually, and Alchemist I'll be going mostly with the bomb that he has, the acid bomb that reduces armor and does a little bit of damage, but it's not really noticeable, and his little healing wave thing, which is extremely useful past level 1. So anyways, hopefully at the 1 minute mark, and we'll get it started in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1 on pause. So it's a pretty standard build. Sometimes I'll mix it up. Like the game before this, I just lost to an Orc with the strategy where they would just hit me really early on with the Fire Seer and a couple of grunts, so I had to adapt a little bit against Orc and put an Ancient of War up a lot earlier than normal, so I can get a few archers out to help defend from the harass. Before I was making a late Ancient War so I can go straight up to Huntresses right away, but that doesn't work when they rush with grunts as well. I can handle the Fire Seer with that, but not the grunts, and you'll see this game he does come with the grunts, so it worked out quite well a little bit later. And of course it's late altar since I'll be going a neutral hero. Now, like, some of the weaknesses of this strat are pretty much all early on. If they were to tower rush you right away, you're kind of screwed, to be honest. But most Night Elves would be screwed regardless of what they're doing, so it's something really new, I suppose. And like, just general rushing can hurt you big time, but I'm still trying to find ways around that. I think this one should do a lot better than normal, but I'll see. For the first skill on the Panda, you're going Haze, mainly for creeping purposes. It allows him to creep several camps without having to go back to the moon walls right away, and it can help kill off early units that attack you with your archers or hunts. If they try to run away, just haze them. And yeah. So you can see I'm making archers. You want to try and tech as early as possible, but with this build I found that you can't really do it. It won't affect things too much. But yeah. So you can see he's coming towards me. I didn't detonate the Wisp. That was near a tavern in time. No big deal. And you can see I'm setting up. You have notice the position of the Panda. Basically I'm having him there so that the Orc has to run all the way over the right side to get to my archers. You can see he has to run even farther with that new Moonwell placement, so that's just basically for protection. The wolves can still get to them, but I'm not really too worried about that. So anyways, here he comes. I'm not going to try and detonate too much as I need all the wood wisps I can keep. So I'll just be sitting here. He comes in, use haze right away. Unfortunately he ran his grunts back so it didn't hit them, but still having it on the wolves isn't that big of a deal. Let's see, he spent a little bit more mana than I did on that. So anyways, there's not much I can do. I just have to sit tight and hope he leaves me alone, because obviously I cannot fight that with archers. I'm starting to make a first Huntress now, so I can have a little bit of a meat shield. I saw him go to the north, so I assume he's off to creep my stuff, as I've seen this way too many times with undead. So I'm going to come in there, use haste and a grunt, and just focus fire him. But I see he's going to come to attack. I don't really want to lose too much health and have to waste my Moonwell, so I'm going to back up a bit. Now he's going to keep chasing me a bit. I just killed off the wolf, which gave me a lot of experience. And yeah, again, he brings out a grunt. I don't know why he brought that one out. It's just going to lead to its death. He's going to try and TP to save it. He's just going to miss it by a second. And there you go. That shows how Haze is going to be useful early on. Obviously, without Haze, he's going to live. Of course, other heroes could have gotten him. The Warden would have killed that grunt, but I like the Panda better off than the Warden, since Haze is probably one of the best skills in the game, I think. I mean, it's basically slow and curse all roll into 170 mana spell, so it's great. And of course, it makes Breath of Fire twice as good, which helps out in undead and human matchups. Which, by the way, this will work against anything, if I didn't mention that earlier. I'm still having a little bit of trouble going up against undead that grow crypt beans early on. I don't know why, but I am. I'm still working on that. And I've only had to play one night off with this strategy out of like 20 games, which is really odd, but it worked fairly well there. But I'll have to see once I get more practice against them. Anyways, I continue to creep. You can see, just use haze in the creeps. Try and hit all of them at once. Helps out. And you can see you can tank this with the Panda quite well. But obviously I'll have to run back home after this. You can see the tech is almost done for tier 2. Still sticking with the single Ancient of War. You'll stick with that the entire game. And then you'll add in an Ancient of Lore for Dryads, which just keep everything else slow that haze can miss. And to dispel, basically. And Ancient of Wind for the Druids of the town, which mix in extremely well with the Goblin Alchemist. Basically, with the dots and the Goblin Alchemist, every unit on your opponent will have -7 armor from that, so that's extremely deadly. So that's very, very nice to have. And of course, with all these low health units and archers and dots and dryads, little healing spray thing is extremely useful. But you'll see that a little bit later on. So here's the first fight. All I have is my Panda. I'm going to use haze right away, then Breath of Fire. It's not really too much to say. Just try and keep your archers behind the hunts. And if he uses the speed scroll, try and back up the archers a tad. But he's not really going for the archers, so I didn't see that was necessary. He's trying to fight this, which is not a good idea. He was planning on towering me, which was a nice spot if I was going nothing but archers, but obviously it's not going to work too well. You can see all of his grunts are falling like flies to the archers and haze. So he's going to start to run. He's going to pick off that last Huntress. I don't really care. They'll just die later on to the Demolishers anyways, so I just let them die.
Wanna blow something up? Pull his finger.
That's not my finger.
No one wants to hear about what's going in or out of your mouth.
Oh, that son of a bitch downware hijacking my audios again. Oh well. I think I'll get over it one day. The fear of the downware. But anyways, back to the game at hand. You can see I'm putting up both my Ancients of Wind, Ancients of Lore. This is standard against Orc. Against Human, I might want to consider skipping the Ancient of Lore for now and teching to tier 3 so I can get bears instead. You can see I saw his peons. I assumed that they were trying to tower me still, hoping that I wouldn't have noticed them in the first place. But that usually doesn't work. I'm also going to throw up a shop for clarity potions, although I think I kind of ignore that this game and don't buy any. But you really should do that if you're like during the day and don't want to waste your moon miles. But I never really had to run into that problem. So usually right about now, I know my opponent's pretty scared of me, so I'm going to go off and expand, I believe. I usually try and expand right at tier 2 before I get any Dryads or Ancients, or Druids of the Talon. There we go. Actually, I guess I'm not expanding. But generally, this is the time where you would want to expand. Anyways, the fight's coming again. He only has 3 grunts and 2 heroes. I have my archers out front, which obviously is a bad thing, but it doesn't hurt. He only got the 1, and he has to use a speed scroll to get out. And he'll be heading back home to heal. So now I think this is the part where I go expand. Yeah, for sure. And yeah. So at this point, once you have the 100s to 1 to 300s, don't make any more the rest of the game. If you're going to make any sort of meat, make Druids of the Claw. Or possibly even Mountain Giants. But you don't need too much at all, thanks to the Panda. He'll keep them at bay for quite a while. Again, I guess it was another fight. Again, I don't know why he puts Lightning Shield on my hero. All that means is I can use it offensively on him, and I just fucking restarted the game. Wait. I accidentally paused it. Okay. Anyways, I'm at 9, 20, 21, 22, 23. Sorry about that. But anyways, the fight still continues. Hayes gets me at least 2 grunt kills right there. Without it, I would have not gotten those. And again, he uses lightning shield on an archer this time, which is a little bit better, I guess. But I just can run that out of the way. You really need to use that in your grunts or your own heroes. Otherwise, it's pretty useless, as I can just turn it around on you quickly. Although if I'm going to TP, then that's a good choice to use it on my units, as they'll be all clumped up when I TP. So anyways, I'm in here to fight. He'll have a demolisher out in a second, and he has burrows, so I won't be staying here too long, as I absolutely cannot stand night elf base or orc bases. Although I think it's possible I could have maybe killed him. I really don't want to risk it with all these unarmored units. So since I see he has demos, and probably continue with raiders and grunts, I'll begin to take the tier 3 now, so I can get chimeras later on, and be able to take down the burrows much easily. Yeah, there we go. You can see I'm using healing wave spray, whatever the hell you call it. It's mainly best to use out of battle, as it's really kind of difficult to use in battle since it also heals enemy units. But if he's using chain lightning on the archers a lot, you can easily use it. Just have your hero run to the back and heal with them. And sometimes it's a pretty decent hero saver as well. I guess I'm going against my word about saying the expansion thing. I usually would have expanded by now, but I see the Goblin Merchant here is ready. I saw him running in the back with my archers, so I'm prepared for him. And again, he's going to try and run into me. He uses Scroll's speed right away. Unfortunately, I don't think I have a Ballast Magic yet, so I wouldn't have caught them. And he also manages to piss off the turtles, who will go right after the Huntress and get him down to like 2 health. Okay, 16, whatever. So I think I'll end up killing that off myself. I don't recall though. But now I'm just going to creep the merchant, thinking that he's probably going to leave me alone now, knowing that he cannot fight my army. But he's doing the smart thing and come to attack me. So I'll be TPing out right away. You can see also on the creeps I use Acid Bomb and Haze, which lets you run through them very quickly. You can see I have to TP out. I really did not want to be on both ends of that, but I did get the items and stuff before that. It was like a regeneration, which is an okay item. So yeah, I'm still sticking with the archers, druids, and the dryads. There's really not much Orc can do to stop this, just barring me really screwing up at this point, i.e. having a really bad teleport or something. But you can see how it's effective. The dryads just keep everything slowed, and they get rid of Scroll the speed, so you can continue to chase them down. The hunts are just for a little bit of a meat shield. They'll die off eventually. The archers purely for damage, since everything has about -8 armor at this point. Yeah, they aren't going to stand a chance. The archers will be doing, I think, I did the math on this, it's like 22 damage average or so without having any upgrades at all. So that's quite nasty. And of course the druids, the talent, also doing quite nice damage against the grunts. And of course they gave me part of that whole minus armor thing. And of course the panda, who has a pendant of energy, well, he'll just be casting Haze and Breath of Fire all day long. So finally I get to that whole expansion thing, get a belt of giant strength, just put on the strength hero. Also, it wouldn't be bad in the Alchemist, since he's also strength apparently. But I prefer to have it on the Panda, since he'll be doing much more tanking, because he actually has armor, unlike the Alchemist, who has 2. Which doesn't come into a situation too much, but it's enough to make me not want to use his little chemical rage that makes him attack a hell of a lot faster. I just don't see how it's useful having get a frenzy type attack when he has no armor to run in the front and attack and such. So I don't bother with that. Again, here we're fighting. So he has mostly raiders and demolishers at this point with a few grunts. Again, they don't stand a chance with the acid bomb and such. And the fairy fire, I don't think I actually turned the autocast on fairy fire. It's not even, that's kind of sad how it's not needed, but whatever. You can see he gets absolutely demolished in this battle. He's going to try and run away. You can see with the dryads I'm able to slow down the Naga, but the Panda's too far behind to use Drunken Haste, so she probably gets away, I think. I don't recall though. I was looking at the base at this point. Yeah, I do get her, cool. But anyways, back to the Farseer summons a batch of wolves, which just feed me experience. And yeah, I'll be running back home now to heal and get some mana back on my heroes. And again, the whole me fearing the burrow thing. And I also have chimeras coming at this point as well, so I can just push that with that. I want to also get level 4 Alchemist so I can heal. I accidentally have my archer out front for a second, and it dies. But again, the game's just over. I'm just waiting for a few more units. So if you hold Alt, you can see I have a lot of weak units, but they're all relatively low HP, so I'll just position my army so I can try and heal all of it at once with the healing spray. And there I go. You can see I think it's like 200 health, a healing for level 2, which is extremely nice. You can see I went from like having half my units being in red to everything full. So it's very nice. Again, he's going to come to fight for the final battle. He only has 2 grunts, 2 raiders, and a hero. Obviously no chance. You see he tries to use a scroll of speed this time, and it fails miserably. And I kill off the 2 grunts. So at this point he'll be leaving the game. He knows he cannot fight my army at all. And there you have it. So it's a pretty good strategy. Like I said before, the only weaknesses are really early on, or if you like make a bad mistake later on, i.e. not scouting expansions, having a bad teleport, and a few other things here and there. Pretty much it's a strong strategy. If you want to use it, go for it. It works against almost anything. Just gotta change it around a bit. Against human, like I said, try and get bears a bit quicker. And against undead, I think you might want to go for a lot more dots than dryads, as they'll be able to handle the gargs a lot better. Or if he goes fiends, try and get bears quickly, or maybe mountain giants even. And expand early if he has fiends, because there's not too much they can do about that. They won't try and do anything to you. You should just creep with fiends first. And yeah, I'll include a replay pack of this strategy in action. I've beaten a lot of people with this, mainly a lot of orcs, undead as well. Although I do lose a lot to them with this strategy still. I'm still trying to work on the fiends, because I still haven't mastered how to beat them. And I don't think I've ever lost to a human with this yet. So it works pretty well against them, even despite the breakers and everything. You'd be surprised. But anyways, there you have it. If I ever play a Night Elf, maybe I'll do a follow-up on this and such. But until then, later.